But Marcy was very comforting. She said, with you, the sooner it's over, the better.
Peg, what in God's green earth did you do to me?
Well, I couldn't help myself. You look so cute trying to pull your underwear up over your head.
In the iconic words of Al Bundy, "Let's rock, married." With Children wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cultural phenomenon that kept us laughing at every outrageous Bundy moment. From Al's unforgettable one-liners and Peggy's wild outfits to the iconic Love and Marriage theme by Frank Sinatra, this show was pure comedy gold. Now, 38 years later, let's take a fun trip back to the Chicago suburbs and see how the cast has changed. What are they up to now? Let's find out. 1. Katie Sagal as Peggy Bundy. Peggy Bundy wasn't Al's quirky and flamboyant wife. She was a character like no other. From nagging Al about his job, hygiene, and even his less-than-stellar romantic abilities, Peggy had a unique way of keeping the Bundy household in line, and she did it all with unforgettable style that Katie Sagal herself envisioned. For her audition, Sagal donned a red bouffant wig and embraced a 1960s-inspired wardrobe to parody the stereotypical housewife. Producers loved it, and the look became a hallmark of the character. Katie Sagal's talent runs deep in her DNA. Her mother was a singer, her father a television director, and her godfather none other than the TV legend Norman Lear. Lear even introduced her parents. Sadly, her father passed away in a tragic accident on the set of the miniseries World War III in 1981. Before her breakthrough in acting, Sagal began her career in 1973 as a backing vocalist for music legends like Bob Dylan and Tanya Tucker. She later joined Bette Midler's backup group, the Harlettes, and eventually released 3 albums of her own, the most recent in 2013. Her first major acting role was as a newspaper columnist on Mary, starring Mary Tyler Moore, which served as her springboard into Married with Children. After Married with Children, Sagal's career skyrocketed. In 1998, Matt Groening cast her as Leela, the strong-willed spaceship captain in Futurama, a role she voiced until 2023. Most recently, she replaced Roseanne Barr as Dan Connor's new wife on The Connors and appeared in shows like Rebel and Tell Me Lies. Katie Sagal's personal life has been filled with highs and heartbreaking lows. She was married to musician Freddie Beckmeyer and later to drummer Jack White, with whom she has 2 children, Sarah Grace and Jackson James. But before having this lovely children, Sagal experienced a profound loss while she filmed Married with Children in 1991. After an unexpected pregnancy was written into the show, she tragically suffered a stillbirth in her 3rd trimester. The storyline was reworked into a dream sequence. This deeply personal tragedy later inspired her to write You Can't Hurry the Harvest, featured on her 2nd album, Well. Then, in 2004, she married writer-producer Kurt Sutter, and they welcomed their daughter, Esme Louise, via surrogate in 2007. Beyond her acting and music, Sagal is actively involved in charitable work. She supports the Human Rights Campaign, the Alzheimer's Association, and Friendly House, a nonprofit organization. Together with her husband, she has also made notable real estate investments. In 2005, they purchased a Hollywood Hills home for $3.7 million, which they sold in 2010. That same year, they acquired a Bel Air mansion for $3.7 million, eventually selling it for a whopping $7.7 million in 2022. Today, at 70 years old, Katie Sagal remains a powerhouse in entertainment. With a net worth of $40 million, she continues to captivate audiences worldwide from her iconic role as Peggy Bundy to her latest projects, including Torn Hearts and The Connors. What's next for this unstoppable star? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, she's still rocking. Second, Ed O'Neill as Al Bundy. If you close your eyes and think of Ed O'Neill, you might first hear Jay Pritchett from Modern Family grumbling about life while sharing sweet, sarcastic moments with his wife, Goregia. But long before Jay became the sitcom dad we all wanted to have a drink with, O'Neill was busy cementing himself as the hilariously grumpy king of cheap laughs, the one and only Al Bundy. And who could possibly forget Al's legendary prayers? "O mighty one in the skies who created the mountains, the sea, and beer." Could there ever be a funnier anthem for despair? Al Bundy was the guy who sold women's shoes, not even the cute ones, while dreaming of his high school football glory days, all with the perfect blend of absurdity and deadpan humor. It was Ed O'Neill's magic touch that turned this crass, self-deprecating character into sitcom gold, giving Married with Children the heart it needed without overshadowing the equally ridiculous antics of his on-screen family. Fans loved O'Neill so much that he often fulfilled requests to recreate famous moments from the show or even made special occasion phone calls as Al Bundy. True to Al's stingy nature, he did it only if he could call collect. Before his acting career took off, O'Neill had an interesting detour into professional football. A standout college player, he was signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers but was cut during training camp, competing against the legendary rookie Mean Joe Green. Although football didn't work out, O'Neill transitioned to acting, leaving substitute teaching behind. His big break came in 1980 when he played a police detective opposite Al Pacino in Cruising. In the early 1990s, O'Neill also had success in family-friendly films like Dutch and the Pee-wee football comedy Little Giants, where he played a rival coach opposite Rick Moranis. But his return to television in 2009 cemented his legacy. As Jay Pritchett on Modern Family, he brought warmth and wit to the sitcom, which went on to win 5 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Comedy Series and a Golden Globe for Best Television Series, musical or comedy, in 2011. Most recently, O'Neill appeared in the 2020 film The Last Shift and in a 2019 episode of Weird City. Outside of acting, he has a passion for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, earning his black belt in 2007 after more than 20 years of practice. He was introduced to the sport by writer-director John Milius and remains dedicated to it. Today, Ed O'Neill is 77 years old and enjoys life with his wife, actress Catherine Russoff, and their 2 daughters. With a career spanning decades, a net worth of $65 million, and a legacy in both comedy and family dramas, O'Neill continues to be a beloved figure in Hollywood. 3. David Faustino as Bud Bundy. David Faustino, best known for his role as Bud Bundy, the awkward, unlucky younger brother on Married with Children, mastered the creepy little bro from hell archetype. Bud was the guy who was constantly humiliated by his older sister Kelly while struggling to win over the ladies. Despite his flaws, Bud's misfortunes were a big part of the show's charm. And if you ever thought the character seemed familiar, it's because Faustino played him with such a distinctive style that even when he wasn't acting, fans could easily spot him in other roles. Before he became synonymous with Bud Bundy, Faustino's acting career began in 1980 with an episode of Little House on the Prairie. Though his post-Married with Children career didn't quite match the heights of his iconic role, he pivoted smoothly into voice acting, earning success with roles like the villain in the How to Train Your Dragon spin-off series and Dragons, Race to the Edge. David has also been quite the entrepreneur. In the early 90s, he co-founded a nightclub in Los Angeles named Ballistics, which held the distinction of being the first hip-hop funk club on the Sunset Strip. The club initially opened on Thursday nights at the Whiskey A Go Go in 1991, but after a final New Year's Eve bash at the Roxy in 1993, it closed its doors. But wait, did you know Faustino once tried his hand at rap? Under the name D. Lil, he released the single I Told Ya, which got some airplay in 1992. His musical pursuits didn't stop there. In 2008, he co-wrote an electronica album titled Hollow Dreams. Amidst all this, Faustino's personal life was also flourishing. In 2015, his girlfriend, Lindsay Bronson, gave birth to their daughter. This relationship was quite the contrast to his previous marriages. His first marriage, to pop musician Andrea Elmer at a spiritual center in Los Angeles didn't last long, and they separated in May 2006. Faustino filed for divorce in 2007, citing irreconcilable differences, and after a few legal battles, he managed to avoid paying spousal support. He also found himself in some legal trouble in 2007 when he was arrested for marijuana possession in Florida, though a disorderly intoxication charge was dropped after Faustino agreed to enter a drug rehabilitation program. With a net worth of $6 million, Faustino's real estate ventures have also paid off. In 1995, he bought a home above the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles for $592,000. Today, the property is worth between $2.5 to $3.5 million. David Faustino may not have reached the same level of fame as his married, with children co-stars, but he certainly made a name for himself with his diverse career and personal ventures. Now he is 50 years old. He continues to work on new cartoon project titled Hollywood. This certainly proves that there's more to him than just Bud Bundy. 4. Amanda Bearse as Marcy Darcy. Marcy Rhodes, the Bundys' feisty next-door neighbor, was always at odds with Al, despite being Peggy's best friend. Fans loved watching her clash with Al, especially when she took a stand against his National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood, often countering his efforts with her own group, Feminists Against Neanderthal Guys. These hilarious confrontations made Marcy one of the standout characters on Married with Children, but Amanda Bearse, the actress behind Marcy, was more than just a regular cast member. Not only did she bring Marcy to life, but she also directed an impressive 31 episodes of the show, with the standout being Season 11's The Stepford Peg. Bearse's career began long before her iconic role as Marcy. She first caught our attention with a starring role in the 1985 cult classic Fright Night, which helped launch her into the public eye. Although she took a break from acting after 2013, Bearse made a striking return in 2020, appearing in the cinema blockbuster Sky Sharks. In her personal life, Bearse made headlines in 1993 when she publicly came out as a lesbian. She married her wife, Carrie Schenken, in 2010, and the couple has a daughter named Zoe. Interestingly, Bearse didn't invite her Married with Children co-stars Ed O'Neill and David Faustino to her wedding. She admitted during a 2013 interview that she feared they would laugh at the sight of two women in tuxedos, something that O'Neill humorously admitted he would have done. After all, it's hard to shake off the Al Bundy personality. Now 65 years old, Amanda Bearse continues to enjoy her successful career and has an estimated net worth of $2 million. 5. Christina Applegate as Kelly Bundy. Kelly Bundy, the quintessential ditzy blonde who loved fashion and had a knack for pushing her father's buttons, was a character who undoubtedly stole the show. Of course, Al Bundy always gave as good as he got, making their back-and-forth interactions some of the best moments in Married with Children. Christina Applegate, who brought Kelly to life, was nothing short of stellar in the role. And let's not forget, she was also quite easy on the eyes. As one of the biggest draws of the sitcom, Applegate's performance became a defining part of the show's success. Applegate's roots in show business run deep. She was practically born into the entertainment world, tagging along with her actress mother, Nancy Pretty, on Days of Our Lives before she could even walk. Interestingly, her mother even made an appearance on Married with Children in Season 4. At just 12 years old, Christina had already impressed audiences when she played a young Grace Kelly in the television biopic Grace Kelly, alongside Cheryl Ladd, who portrayed the older Grace. Her big break came in 1991 with the role of Sue Ellen Crandall in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, a film that cemented her status as a rising star. Then came her iconic role as Veronica Corningstone in Anchorman. More recently, Christina wowed viewers with her performance in the Netflix series Dead to Me, which ran for 3 seasons. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. With a net worth of $25 million, Christina Applegate has undoubtedly made a significant mark on Hollywood. Her success extends beyond her acting career. In 1995, she purchased a home in the Hollywood Hills for $950,000. Today, that same property is worth an impressive $5 to $7 million. A true testament to her smart decisions both on and off screen. However, Christina's path hasn't been without its personal struggles. In 2008, she was diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer, a condition that runs in her family. Following the diagnosis, she made the brave decision to undergo a double mastectomy, a choice influenced by her mother's own battle with breast cancer. Despite this, Christina's determination never wavered, and she continues to thrive in her career. On the personal front, Christina married actor Jonathan Shaich, but their marriage ended in divorce in 2007. 2 years later, she found love with Martin Lenoble, a Dutch musician, and the couple married in 2013. They have a daughter, Sadie, together. Christina is also a passionate advocate for animal rights, following a vegetarian lifestyle and supporting PETA's anti-fur campaign. At 53 years old, Christina Applegate is cancer-free and continues to deliver fantastic performances. However, she recently revealed that she had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Despite this new challenge, she remains an inspiration, and we're wishing her all the best as she tackles this new chapter in her life. Now let's dive into an interesting story. Not about human, just a lovely friend. Are you curious about Buck the dog? Stay tuned as we will find out where he is now. 6. Buck as Buck the dog. As Buck, the lovable yet mischievous dog from Married with Children, had a complex personality that endeared him to fans despite his often comedic antics. In the privacy of his own mind, Buck frequently insulted his human masters, calling out their flaws and neglect. Though often seen as stupid by the Bundys, Buck was actually quite clever, as shown in episodes like Look Who's Barking, where he tricks a female dog into eating Al's cheesecake to avoid being sent to the pound. Before becoming the iconic dog on the show, Buck had a rather normal start. Rit was given Buck for free by a wealthy owner who didn't feel right accepting payment for the dog. Rit noticed Buck's unique features. Most Briards are all black or all blonde with cropped ears, but Buck had a mix of colors and natural uncut ears. Rit took the time to train Buck for 18 months, helping him get used to people in noisy environments before putting him in front of the camera. Buck's first taste of fame came in 1986 when he appeared in Janet Jackson's music video for When I Think of You. Later that year, he was cast as the Bundys' dog on Married with Children, where his training paid off. Buck quickly became an expert at reading his trainer's body language, responding to hand signals and cues. The cast adored him, with Ed O'Neill in particular forming a special bond with the dog. In fact, Rit recalls a memorable moment when Buck interrupted a scene by suddenly kissing Ed on the face, leaving him unable to deliver his lines. Rit shared that, "It was so funny, Buck just loved him." However, as time went on, Buck's age began to show. By the time he was about 12 and a half years old, it became difficult for him to distinguish hand signals at a distance. Realizing it was time for Buck to retire, Rit made the difficult decision to send his beloved dog off. In the show's 3rd episode of Season 10, Requiem for a Dead Briard, Buck's character was written out by having him die and be reincarnated as Lucky. Sadly, Buck passed away in real life on May 28, 1996, in Acon, California, at the age of 13 and a half. His body was cremated, and his ashes were given to his trainer, Stephen Rit, who had formed such a close and loving relationship with him. 7. Ted McGinley as Jefferson Darcy. Jefferson Darcy, Marcy's second husband on Married with Children, marries her for financial reasons. He's young, unemployed, and lazy, but at least Marcy gets herself a handsome boy toy. In return, Jefferson gives Al a new buddy next door, creating the perfect dynamic for the show. Ted McGinley, who portrayed Jefferson, began his career with a bang in 1980 when he joined Happy Days as Roger Phillips, the nephew of the Cunningham family, in the final seasons. He then went on to play Clay Falmont on the hit primetime soap Dynasty, where he was part of the oil-rich, warring families, striking it big in the process. Beyond Married, with children, McGinley became a pop culture staple, particularly remembered for his role as the quintessential jock in the 1984 film Revenge of the Nerds. This was a role he embodied perfectly, given his own athletic background in college. At USC, McGinley was the captain and a two-time MVP of the water polo team, a testament to his natural sportsmanship. McGinley's personal life is just as fulfilling. In 1991, he married actress Gigi Rice, and together they have two sons, Bo and Quinn. The family resides in Los Angeles. Now 65 years old, McGinley is still actively involved in the entertainment industry, including voice acting. He appeared in 54 episodes of Transformers, Robots in Disguise, and most recently wrapped up a role in the show Keeping Up with the Joneses in 2021. In terms of real estate, McGinley made some savvy investments. In 1986, he purchased an 1,800-square-foot home on Balboa Island in Newport Beach, California, for $360,000. He has rented it out in recent years for about $5,000 per month, and today the home is worth around $4 million. McGinley also owns a home in Indian Wells, California, which he bought in 1980 for just $47,000. This property, now his primary residence, is valued at about $600,000. Ted McGinley has an estimated net worth of $5 million. It's clear that McGinley's career and life have been as dynamic and successful as his character, Jefferson Darcy. 8. David Garrison as Steve Rhodes. Steve Bartholomew Rhodes, the first husband of Marcy and original neighbor to the Bundys on Married with Children, became a memorable character in the series. The creators chose the surname Rhodes in homage to professional wrestler The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, a subtle nod to the world of wrestling. Steve was a mortgage broker, and despite his lower position at the leading bank of Chicago compared to Marcy's role, he always seemed unfazed by their professional differences. David Garrison, the actor who portrayed Steve, enjoyed his time on the show but felt a strong pull toward live theater, which led him to ask for his contract to be released. While he was ready to move on, Garrison remained in the public eye, making a brief return to television with a role on the short-lived NBC sitcom Working It Out in 1990, shortly after his departure from Married with Children. In a humorous and somewhat ironic farewell, the producers of the show gave Garrison a going-away present, a blown-up police mugshot of him as Steve Rhodes, accompanied by the caption, "Gotta sing, gotta dance, gotta fucking starve to death." Though Garrison left Married with Children to pursue other opportunities, he parted on good terms with the cast and crew. Over the years, he made several guest appearances on the show, returning 4 times in subsequent seasons as Steve Rhodes, updating viewers on his character's life and career. He even appeared in the reunion special. However, he was not present at the 2009 TV Land Awards when the entire Married with Children cast was honored, nor was he interviewed for the occasion. David Garrison's career has been diverse. In addition to his Married with Children fame, he appeared as a celebrity guest, most notably helping a contestant win $100,000 during a tournament episode of the $100,000 Pyramid in 1988. He also starred in George Romero's Creep Show in the 1982 segment The Crate. But Garrison's true passion lies in musical theater, which was the driving force behind his decision to leave the show. He wasn't interested in being tied down to a weekly TV schedule, especially given the logistical challenges of commuting. Today, David Garrison is an accomplished actor and singer with a net worth of $3 million. Despite his varied career, his roots in musical theater and his role as Steve Rhodes remain key parts of his legacy. 9. Harold Sylvester as Griff. Griff, introduced early in Married with Children Season 9, became Al's best friend and fellow shoe salesman at Gary's Shoes. Played by Harold Sylvester, Griff brought a fresh dynamic to the show with his friendship and camaraderie with Al. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, Sylvester's journey to Hollywood was marked by academic excellence and athletic achievement. He graduated from St. Augustine High School and later attended Tulane University, where he received a basketball scholarship. Choosing Tulane over Harvard, Sylvester graduated in 1972 with degrees in theater and psychology, making history as the first African American to receive an athletic scholarship from Tulane. After his time on Married with Children, Sylvester continued to build his acting career, taking on a lead role in Sounder Part 2, the sequel to the acclaimed film Sounder. He also appeared in notable supporting roles in films like An Officer and a Gentleman and Karina. During his career, he was a contract player for Universal Studios, further solidifying his place in Hollywood. Beyond acting, Sylvester also delved into writing. In 1998, he wrote the screenplay for the TV movie Passing Glory, inspired by his own experiences as a high school basketball player. The film is based on a pivotal moment in the history of high school sports in New Orleans, St. Augustine High School's all-black team playing against Jesuit High School's all-white team. Sylvester's contributions to the arts and his deep connection to his roots are preserved at the Amistad Research Center in New Orleans. The center holds a collection of his papers, which include his correspondence, film and television scripts, and materials that reflect his involvement with the Free Southern Theater and his own production company, Blue Bayou Productions. Through his career, Sylvester has made a lasting impact, not only as an actor, but also as a writer and cultural advocate. 10th E. Bell as Bob Rooney. Bob Rooney is Al Bundy's longtime friend, a bond that goes all the way back to their high school football days. He's also a key member of NOMAAM and served as the treasurer during its run. Professionally, Bob works as a butcher, and in his personal life, he's married to Louise, who is Peggy Bundy's friend. One of the funniest things about Bob is that he's always referred to by his full name, Bob Rooney, even by his wife, Louise. Aside from that, Bob is the go-to guy for home repairs, owning a complete set of DIY manuals. So whenever anything in the group needs fixing, Bob is the one they call. While Bob Rooney is a memorable character, E. Bell, the actor who portrays him, has had a diverse career. Bell's credits include recurring roles on shows like The Amanda Show, where he played Barney the security guard. He also appeared as the mystery guest on How I Met Your Mother and played a school principal on Sunny with a Chance. In his personal life, E. Bell is a man of many interests. He has been married to his wife, who prefers to stay out of the spotlight, for many years. They have built a strong family life together, and Bell has occasionally shared his enjoyment of living a relatively private life with his family. Outside of acting, Bell has a love for the arts, and he's also known to have a strong appreciation for music and theater, a passion that ties back to his love of performance. He has continued to act sporadically in film and TV, but these days he's less focused on public roles and take on projects that allow for a more flexible schedule. Bell also has a great sense of humor, which he brings to his personal life, just like he does in his roles on screen. In 2003, he even participated in an April Fool's prank on Hollywood Squares, surprising host Tom Bergeron. He may have been a funny sidekick on TV, but off-screen, he's a dedicated family man and someone who values the relationships he's built throughout his career. 11. Janet Carroll as Gary. Gary, the owner of Gary's Shoes and Accessories for Today's Woman, plays an important role in Married with Children as the boss of Al Bundy and Griff. He is also briefly remembered as Sugar Mama to Bud Bundy. While Gary's character is more of a supporting role, the actress behind him, Janet Carroll, led a truly remarkable career spanning theater, film, and music. Janet Carroll's acting career began in the late 1960s, following formal stage training. She performed in local theaters before becoming a regular at Starlight Theater in Kansas City. Her roles in musicals like Carousel and The Pajama Game helped her career grow, eventually leading her to California, where she won a Dramalogue Award for her role in Elektra. From 2004 to 2005, she starred as Aunt March on Broadway in Little Women. In addition to acting, Carroll was a renowned jazz singer, performing across the U.S. and Canada, earning recognition at the Reading Jazz Festival with the Best Singer Award. She also participated in charity events, such as a cancer benefit for actress Rhonda Fleming in 2004. Carroll was deeply involved in social causes and held leadership roles in various arts organizations, including as artistic director for the Jazz series at the Simi Valley Cultural Arts Center. She was also preparing to release 2 albums in 2011, but a brain cancer diagnosis soon changed her trajectory. Despite undergoing surgery and chemotherapy, Carroll passed away on May 22, 2012, at the age of 71 in her home in Manhattan. She left behind a legacy that spanned multiple fields and touched countless lives. Carroll is survived by her 2 sons, George and Tom Brown, though tragically, Tom passed away before her in 1978. Janet Carroll's contributions to theater, music, and her community will never be forgotten. Which character has left the strongest impression and emotions on you? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. See you next time.